Why is the sky blue? Well, like everything else we're told about the place we live, why the sky is blue is the what they tell us is a lie, as usual. Um, if when you apply a little common sense and uh, examine what we're told, it falls apart. Just like everything else. I mean, this I'm talking about the blue. Why is the sky blue right now? But you look at flat Earth versus ball Earth. If we're on a ball, you can't see a lighthouse from a ship 60 miles away. It's impossible. It would be under like 1,000 feet of curvature. We just see too far on the Earth for it to be a ball. The moon, the shadow of it at an eclipse is only 70 miles wide on the Earth. That's impossible. If the moon is supposed to be 2,000 miles across in diameter, there's no way the shadow can be only 70 miles wide. Try to um, put your hand in a way to make a shadow on the ground when the sun is above you. Try to make that shadow smaller than your hand. It's impossible. You can't make a little bitty uh, shadow of your hand that's like smaller than your hand. A shadow can either be the same size or bigger. It can't be smaller. Never. Or it'll fade away eventually as you lift up further from the ground. Also, the Big Bang and the expanding universe. How is it expanding when constellations never ever change? They've been the same for as far as we know for 5,000 years. The pyramids in Egypt and Mexico and China were built according to the constellation Orion. These things are 5,000 years old, and Orion still matches the pyramids. The way they laid them out on the ground. Well, the universe is so big, you don't see the movement. How it hasn't even moved by one girl's hair in 5,000 years. I don't think it's moving. It's not moving. And but so what they tell us about the skies, this this sun really, it's looking kind of white on this phone that I'm doing the video, but it's bright yellow as we see it. But it's supposed to be like a white star. And then the light travels for millions of miles and it hits Earth's atmosphere and colors the air blue. So there's a nice scientific explanation. But it just sounds boring. I don't want to read it right now. But that's basically what happens. The other light waves travel longer, so the blue ones are shorter and we see everything blue. But the problem with that is the only blue we see is up when we look up. When you look across, there's no blue. If this is what's really happening, it should just be blue everywhere you look. Like this. Let me see. It should be like this. This is just one picture I found. It was hard to find pictures of what I want, but the idea, I think this girl is like looking at a computer screen, but the idea is the same. This kind of blue light would be everywhere. When you walk around outside, and you look at stuff, everything would be blue, like that. You know, if this is what's happening. And then another thing I just looked up, the sun is 93 million miles away, and the Earth is 8,000 miles wide, approximately, a little less than 8,000 miles wide. So that means you can fit 11,625 Earths from the tip of your nose to the sun. That's a number you can't even comprehend, really, how far away that is. But just to say, going back here, so if you could even imagine it, it's hard. I don't know. I can't imagine that. You can imagine 100 of these, but 1,000 or 11,000, forget it. But you would have to move this sun back, and then, this Earth would be just a tiny little speck for this to be accurate. So, in other words, you know what I'm saying? That sun isn't like this close, but it's kind of hard to fit that in the picture. But they'd be so far away from one another that the Earth would just look like a tiny little grain of sand, like one grain of sand, probably with like 20 feet or 30 feet in front of it. That would equal like 11,000 Earths from the sun. So if that was the case, if this sun is so far away and it's heating up the Earth, when the sun passes over me, I feel the rays on my arm and it's warm. And when it's gone, it cools down a little. How is it not hot like all the time year round? All this atmosphere, this is what's happening. The sun, not talking about the blue sky right now, but about the heat. Eventually, the atmosphere and the Earth are rotating once every 24 hours. This is getting cooked. Eventually, I mean, we've been around for billions of years, but by now, it would all just be one temperature. Night and day wouldn't matter, wouldn't make much difference. This is a tiny little speck, and the atmosphere is another, barely like a little, tiny little nothing. almost 12,000 of these can fit from here to here. The sun is like way bigger. Is this turning? Why is it like hot in the day and cold at night? All this would heat up, just like when you're turning a piece of meat on a grill. Both sides get cooked. It's just hot all around. All this air would just be one temperature. But anyway, that's another thing. I'm talking about the blue light color. So why is the sky blue? Let's see what do I got here. Okay, I did that one. So when I look up, I mean, this is what we see. We see a yellow sun and blue all around it. How come the sun is yellow if the sun is supposed to be a white star, and it's making all the sky blue? Shouldn't the where the sun is be kind of like bluish white? Where's the yellow coming from? That doesn't make sense. I'm saying the Earth is within our atmosphere and it's yellow. I mean, the sun is within the atmosphere. It's local. And it's yellow. There's nothing. It's just simple. There's nothing tricky about it. But why is the sky blue? Let me go over here. So again, we saw that, and so here's what I think. Here's what I believe. Here's what makes sense when you try to apply common sense. This is a ancient Hebrew conception of the universe. We have a flat Earth. We have the firmament, the moon, the sun, the stars. Down here is Sheol. If you want to go there. That's where the damned souls await the judgment. Under the earth. Beneath. We are atmosphere, our clouds. Okay, our yellow sun, the firmament, and above the firmament, blows my mind, is water. There's water above the firmament, according to the scriptures. And I don't know why they wrap the water around like this. Maybe just to make the drawing look nicer. But water's always flat, so I'm sure it's flat on top, just like it's flat on the earth. Above this can be a dome. That's fine if this is like a bubble over the earth, the firmament. I'm not sure the shape of it, but the water above it, I'm sure it's flat. And then above that we have God, heaven, in the heaven of heavens, and the holy angels as well. And so why is the sky blue? Well, water is blue. In our yellow sun, in our atmosphere, as it travels above the earth, it lights the water above it. So we see blue when we look up, but our air is clear down here. That makes more sense. Because if it was the way they were saying, like this, like sun, light coming in from space, coloring the blue light, coloring the air blue, it would just be like blue everywhere like that. But that's not how it looks. Anyway, here's where we are. And they lie to us because they want to hide God from man. They made a fake universe, Big Bang, monkey evolution, fairy tale. That's the fairy tale. This is reality.